Welcome back to Rev and Render It. Today we are strapping into a machine that blurs the line between production car and dedicated race car so aggressively that motorsport regulators are already nervous. The 2027 Mercedes-AMG GT3 is not a track toy for wealthy enthusiasts. This is a circuit killer born from decades of GT racing dominance, refined with engineering that makes no concessions to comfort, convenience, or compromise. Mercedes built this machine to hunt lap records and collect trophies, and everything about its design reinforces that singular mission. Let us begin with the exterior. Because the 2027 GT3 looks like it arrived straight from Victory Lane at the Nürburgring, the long hood and cab rearward proportions of the standard AMG GT have been stretched, widened, and weaponized for aerodynamic violence. The front fascia is dominated by a massive splitter that extends forward like a snowplow, generating downforce while managing airflow beneath the flat underbody. Vertical dive planes and canards protrude from each corner, directing atmosphere round the wheel arches and feeding cooling air to the brakes and radiators. The Panamericana grille remains as brand identification, but here it is enlarged to inhale the massive volumes of air required by the racing V8 lurking beneath. Move along the flank, and the bodywork reveals its racing pedigree through functional details rather than decorative flourishes. The hood features multiple extraction vents that relieve high-pressure air from beneath, reducing lift and improving cooling efficiency. Front fenders are dramatically flared to accommodate wider track widths and larger wheel packages. The carbon fiber panels left unpainted in areas to save weight and display engineering honesty. The doors are skinned in composite materials, their handles replaced by fabric pulls that shave grams and eliminate complexity. Side windows are polycarbonate rather than glass, another racing-derived decision that reduces mass and improves safety during impacts. The rear aspect is pure motorsport theater. A massive rear wing dominates the view, mounted on swan-neck supports that minimize aerodynamic interference and maximize downforce generation. Beneath it, the diffuser spans nearly the entire width of the car, extracting air from beneath the chassis and creating suction that glues the GT3 to tarmac at velocity. The exhaust exits through side pipes just ahead of the rear wheels, a location that permits the aggressive diffuser below, while creating an acoustic signature unmistakable on any circuit. Every surface, every vent, every proportion serves competition purpose. There is no concession to beauty for beauty's sake. Yet the overall effect achieves aesthetic impact through functional intensity. That makes conventional supercars appear soft and compromised. Slip inside through the racing door cutouts, and the interior confirms that Mercedes made zero apologies for eliminating luxury. A full roll cage dominates the cabin, its welded steel tubes forming a protective structure that exceeds regulatory requirements, while providing chassis rigidity that transforms handling precision. The seats are fixed carbon fiber buckets, molded specifically for racing harnesses. They're position adjustable only through pedal box and steering column movement, rather than seat rails. The steering wheel is a quick-release competition unit with integrated shift paddles, rotary dials for traction and brake bias adjustment. and buttons for radio communication and drink systems. Behind it, a digital display presents information with racing-specific prioritization. Lap timers, sector splits, tire pressure monitoring, fuel consumption calculations, and telemetry data dominate the screen. While speed and RPM remain prominent, but secondary to competition metrics, the center console is eliminated entirely, replaced by a simplified panel housing the fire suppression system activation, master power cutoff, and differential adjustment controls. Climate control is non-existent. Storage space is non-existent. Sound deadening is non-existent. Every gram that does not contribute to lap time reduction has been eliminated. Through ruthless engineering discipline, the message is unmistakable. This machine exists solely to dominate circuits, and any occupant seeking comfort should purchase literally any other Mercedes product. Performance is where the GT3 delivers on its circuit killer promise with devastating authority. Power comes from a 6.3-liter naturally aspirated V8 engine, developed specifically for GT3 competition regulations. Unlike the turbocharged units found in road-going AMG products, this power plant breathes atmospheric pressure through individual throttle bodies, screaming to 8,500 RPM. With a soundtrack that raises goosebumps and terrifies corner workers. Output measures 620 horsepower, a figure that seems modest until you consider the curb weight of just 2,700 pounds. The power-to-weight ratio approaches that of unrestricted prototype racing machines. The engine mounts in a front-mid position behind the front axle, placing mass centrally for handling dynamics that defy the long hood proportions. A 6-speed sequential racing transmission delivers shifts with pneumatic precision, the mechanism requiring deliberate intention rather than casual convenience. Acceleration metrics matter less here than corner exit behavior, where the naturally aspirated power delivery provides linear throttle response that allows precise power application mid-corner without turbocharger unpredictability. The chassis architecture utilizes aluminum space frame construction with carbon fiber body panels, maintaining rigidity while minimizing mass. Double wishbone suspension at all four corners replaces the road car's multi-link arrangement, providing precise geometry control through every millimeter of travel. Four-way adjustable racing dampers allow setup changes based on circuit characteristics, while anti-roll bars offer multiple stiffness positions for fine-tuning balance. The steering is unassisted, heavy at low speeds, but alive with feedback once rolling, communicating front axle behavior with telepathic precision. Carbon ceramic brakes provide stopping power that seems to violate physics, hauling the GT3 down from triple-digit velocities with repeated consistency that invites later braking points lap after lap. Racing slick tires generate grip levels that challenge driver neck muscles and concentration limits simultaneously. Aero balance shifts with adjustable wing angles and splitter settings, allowing teams to optimize for high-speed stability or low-speed downforce, depending on circuit requirements. Pricing reflects the GT3's competition positioning and limited homologation production. Base models command approximately $150,000, with options for additional telemetry systems, endurance racing fuel cells, and night racing lighting packages, pushing figures toward 525,000. This positions the GT3 above road-going supercars, but below prototype racing machines. A sweet spot for privateer teams and gentleman drivers seeking factory-engineered reliability. With competition-winning potential, operating costs reflect racing reality, with engine rebuild intervals, tire consumption, and transport logistics demanding substantial budgets beyond the purchase price. The 2027 Mercedes-AMG GT3 proves that Mercedes remembers how to build cars that demand everything from their drivers while delivering even more in return. This is not transportation. This is not a status symbol. This is a circuit killer engineered to dominate racetracks and humiliate competitors who mistook their road cars for racing weapons. It represents the purest expression of AMG philosophy, stripped of compromise and refined through competition until nothing remains except the relentless pursuit of victory.